Yeah, I'd like to take a little time to talk about veneering. Veneered furniture has been around for many, many years. Veneer was around in the time of the Egyptians. Many people believe that veneered furniture is cheap. Some of the finest furniture ever made is covered with thin layers of veneer. After you read my book, you will learn many, many tricks in doing veneering. I have several projects I'd like to talk about and show to you. Some of the subjects I cover in my book are hammer veneering, cutting and taping joints, laying out veneer patterns, and many, many other subjects. The very first item I want to show you is this reproduction of an Eli Terry clock. The entire clock is made out of mahogany. I'd like to draw your attention to the broken arch. This broken arch is only 1/4 of an inch thick, and I realized from past experience that if I had made this out of solid wood, it'd easily get broken off or it would split and warp over time. I also wanted to put a nice cross mahogany grain pattern on here. To do this, I made this core, center core, out of mahogany. I put 2 layers of mahogany veneer in the back and 2 layers of mahogany veneer in the front. This should never warp, break, and the veneer will never crack. Notice on the door frame, the rabbet that holds the glass in is very, very thin. To build some quality into the clock, I put the veneer and run the veneer toward the center of the clock, so it's perpendicular to the door frame. And I did this to strengthen this edge around here. By running the grain toward that, it'll probably never split or break over time. The next item I'd like to show you that I built is this reproduction of an antique dresser. It's a miniature scaled down. It's made into a jewelry box. When I made the drawers on this, they were just a flat grain pattern, and these are some scraps I had of ribbon cut veneer, mahogany veneer, which I put onto these drawers to dress it up and give that a little bit of a professional or artistic look.
Okay, all set now. Go ahead.
The next 2 items I'd like to show you are fine examples of marquetry. Marquetry is the art of making pictures, usually floral patterns, out of thin layers of veneer. This is a hair barrette, which I made, and it is only 3/16 of an inch thick. To make this hair barrette, I layered up thin layers of veneer for 2 reasons. One, thin layers of veneer glued up will make it extremely strong. It would never split or break, and the barrette has a slight curve into it, and I was able to bend the veneer for the curve. The second item I'd like to show you is this bracelet. I made the bracelet out of layers of veneer for the same reason. It would be impossible to make this out of solid wood and get this curve without it breaking. Alright. Another thing I'd like to take a little time to talk about is complicated curves. In my book I will show you how to do complicated curves. This is a false front for an antique oak dresser. You'll notice that the veneer runs vertical on this. And this little bit of curve up over the top was very difficult to do. In my book I will show you how to handle curves like this and how to make a reverse mold to clamp things like this down. The other item I want to show you is this curve right here. In my book I will show you how to veneer a curve like this using your own version of iron-on veneer, and this was done without any clamps. This is the last project I want to show you. I made this about 25 years ago. The top in here is made out of Carpathian mound. It's a 4-way match, and I put the veneer on here and cut all the joints using a veneer hammer, which I will teach you how to do in my book. The outside border is tiger maple, and I chose to run the border vertical for a nice aesthetic effect. In building this table, I built the apron around here, and for aesthetic reasons and for a nice effect, I chose to run the grain vertical on this too. You'll notice these 4 panels on here. These are another example of marquetry. Each one of these pieces were cut out and inlaid. And the background is bird's eye maple. This table would be impossible to build out of solid wood. You also notice that the whole background here is a nice fiddle back pattern walnut veneer. I'm going to turn this table around so you can see the other three sides of marquetry.
Okay.
To build a table like this would be impossible using solid lumber.
And
One of the most important tools in a cabinet maker's workshop is good information and knowledge. Don't spend thousands of dollars on tools and hundreds of dollars in wasted time to learn to do veneering. I've already done that for you. I'll show you how to set up a complete shop to do nice, fine veneer work for a few $100s. If you're into antique restoration, and the price of my book is $9.99 and the title is A Cabinet Maker's Guide to Veneering Techniques.